Hello everyone, I all hope you had a wonderful and blessed weekend. Today we're gonna remake the episode that I exactly did last time, known as Watermaster, who's a supervillain and a current member of the Dark Fates, a powerful dark secret society of dark supervillains who want to put an end to the entire sacred war by any means necessary. Okay, in Watermaster's early life, Watermaster is a younger brother of King Simon. Is a younger brother of King Simon. Is a younger brother of King Simon. Who King Simon is his older brother. He's been exactly planning on taking over his home world and his home planet and planning to exactly rule it and also planning to exactly conquer it. Watermaster exactly trying to 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 exactly ascend to the throne by exactly forcibly removing his brother out of the way and by trying to exactly killing him. But his plans didn't exactly succeed, as he was almost the king of Waterworld and Water Planet by trying to conquer his homeworld. In doing so, King Simon was quietly triumphant as he able to triumph through his battle by fighting Watermaster for the throne and was able to overthrow Watermaster off the throne and sent him through water prison. Watermaster remained in water prison for as long as his brother became king of Waterworld and the water planets of their own star systems within the sacred universe. For all that time, Watermaster planned to exact his revenge and planning to reconquer his home planet and his home city. In doing so, he had help from his inside operatives of Waterworld in order to exactly liberate him from his imprisonment. Watermaster was quietly fully free and liberated from his home prison, of his home world and home planet. After that, he decided to go rogue and begin his own plans and his own orchestrations and his own orchestrations in trying to exactly to descend to Water Throne and to the water world itself and ruling it by force by any means necessary. Quartermaster even joined another secret society of supervillains known as the Founders. The Dark King extended invitation to powerful villains known as Dark Grey, Queen Ivy, Queen Ivy, Mr. X, Dark Witch Boy, Silverface, and Watermaster, who is a former member. Watermaster joined the founders in the early years of his life, and he exactly joined in order to further his own ambition and his own goal by doing so exactly. Watermaster gave the founders dark water technologies and all types of technologies for them to exactly experiment in order for them to unlock the secrets of all of the technologies for them to use to reconquering worlds and planets and civilizations. Watermaster was quietly present with the audience when Dr. Darkness exactly presented the dark crystal infused with dark magic and shadow energy to the founders as the dark king ordered him to exactly proceed with the experiment of the crystal, and Mr. X quietly also ordered Dr. Darkness to proceed with the experiment with the rest of the experiment and with the rest of the experiment of the crystal, unleashing its full power and its full energies and unleashing its full power and its full secrets of powers. Watermaster was even present with the next audience of the founders when Ghostmaster presented a vial of shadow energy which he received on Sacred Valley when the Universal Heroes thwarted the operation by exactly delaying the process of the transportation of the operation of the entire chemical of shadow energy being transported to the chemical supplier known as Ghostmaster who exactly received one vial of shadow energy and presented it as an audience to the members of the founders. Dark Grey was very quietly displeased with the interference of the Universal Heroes and was very quietly unhappy. The Dark King exactly mentioned the Universal Heroes as enemy action and also wanted them to be destroyed and wanted them to be dead and quietly, fully to be wiped out by any means necessary. Watermaster was even present in the next audience of the founders when Blackspot exactly failed in trying to exactly obtain the blue crystal from Water City from the other worlds and from the other civilizations due to the intervention of the young water heroes who were quietly able to intervene and blocking his intentions from exactly achieving and obtaining the crystal of water that he was exactly able to achieve. But Watermaster wasn't quietly distraught. The members of the founders were not quietly distraught over the loss of the crystal as they plans to obtain the crystal through the sacred world would exactly be executed would exactly be executed on sight without no one else knowing. Despite this, Watermaster was quietly present when the Dark King was pleased with the Holy Alliance being presented as a proxy, and very quietly happy, believing that the Universal Heroes have quietly exposed their secret society and their secret organization. And the secret organization shared the Dark King's view, and also his plans of reconquering the rest of sacred existence, and the rest of conquering sacred existence and the rest of the sacred worlds. In doing so, the Dark King was very pleased and very happy. 2 months later, after they stage raids on Crystal World, on planet Crystal Worlds with Dark Grey, Queen Ivy, Mr. X, Silverface, and Watermaster, able to exactly acquire the assets that they quietly needed: the Dark Crystal, the experimentations of monsters and clones of other people and robotic DNAs and experiments of the Shadow Empire's genetic samples and water technologies and destructive technologies from the sacred lab of Project Fire, which they were able to exactly secure their assets and were able to exactly stage away. Within those months, Watermaster was quietly disbanded from the group of the secret society known as the Founders, and was quietly ousted. He was quietly sentenced into prison, back to the Sacred World prison of the Four Nation Hunters, and he quietly remained there. Within that time remaining there, Watermaster planned his revenge. He planned to execute his revenge and planned orchestrations to exactly achieve the throne and regain the throne, and planned to form an alliance with the Shadow Empire warlords and all of them. He became even a former member of the Lord of Magic's Dark organization at that time period before he was sentenced to prison, and he helped the Lord of Magic and his forces and his followers seize so much control of many worlds and planets and civilizations by battling with the Universal Heroes and the United Heroes. He was very quietly distraught and very quietly devastated by hearing his death and his demise at the hands of the Universal Heroes, and he was very, very quietly unhappy and very quietly displeased that the way he passed away was very quietly saddened and very quietly displeased of his death. In doing so, Watermaster carried out his own plan and his own goals. In doing so, to annihilate the Universal Heroes and the rest of the Intergalactic Coalition and anyone else who may pose a threat to his mission. In doing so, he escaped the prison and went to his original bases near water worlds in order for him to exactly execute his plan. He planned on using water technology in order to exactly destroy the Sacred World and all the other civilizations. But the Intergalactic Coalition and the Water King were able to intercept him and were able to prevent Watermaster from using his destructive technology from destroying the other worlds and all the other civilizations. The battle between the two brothers was quietly brief and very, very quietly brief and quietly lost, as Water King gained the upper hand of the battle when Watermaster used his water magic and used water powers in order to exactly fight Water King Simon, in order to stop Water King superhero Simon and the rest of the Intergalactic Coalition from thwarting his plans. They destroyed his device and were able to exactly take Watermaster back into custody. Watermaster remained in custody for 4 months. 4 months. As in 4 months. He remained into custody in 4 months in Waterworld, back in Waterworld, planning his next plan and executing his next move. And after hearing the news of the Shadow Empire power vacuum and the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches are waging war, and the Seconds waging war with the Universal Heroes and Intergalactic Coalition, and there's a power vacuum, and the power vacuum is quietly consumed the rest of the known universe and the rest of the sacred world and the rest of sacred existence by any means necessary, forcing every high commander and every powerful warlord and every commander in order to exactly seize control of the known universe and sectors of the sacred world and sectors of the sacred world and sectors of the sacred universe. Watermaster became complicit and became determined to escape from his imprisonment, and to exactly leave. He began using his water magic abilities in order to escape and execute his plan. During his time of escape, the water gods tried to exactly prevent him from escaping, and they were able to fight him off. The Watermaster was able to fight off the water gods by using his water magic and his water abilities in order to exactly move them out of his way from his escape. After his escape, Watermaster he maintained his next central headquarters base. He used his central headquarters bases for him to exactly execute his plan by creating destructive water technologies and powerful technologies for him to exactly supply the Shadow Empire commanders and warlords. In return, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders would exactly supply Watermaster with more destructive technologies and more powerful technologies and more integrated tech and more dark and powerful cataclysmic technologies and all sorts of on all sorts and on all sort of dark and apocalypse and all sort of red and energy technologies that they've been exactly able to use. In doing so, Watermaster will supply the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with water technologies and more planets and more planets and more worlds for them to conquer, while he focuses his main objective and his goal in reconquering and reclaiming his throne, his birthright to rule Waterworld and Water Planet from King Simon, King Simon, who's a member of the Water Heroes, who's a member of the Water Heroes and a member of the United Heroes, exactly, by executing his plan in reconquering his homeworld and his home civilization for the Shadow Empire to exactly become the most strongest, most powerful, dominant force in the entire sacred universe by any means necessary. During at that time period, Watermaster received an invitation from the dark fated supervillains known as the Dark Fates. Lord Fate, exactly leader and founder of the Dark Fate, leader and founder of the Dark Fates, exactly extended an invitation to Watermaster to join his secret society and to become an ex-member of his secret society. From there, he will not exactly be executed or disbanded from the group. He will exactly remain to the group. In doing so, Watermaster agreed, and he agreed to exactly help the dark fated villains in their quest to put an end to the war in reconquering all the worlds and all the civilizations and liberating them from the Universal Heroes and from the Intergalactic Coalition. He joined them and became the next member of the Dark Fated Villains, and he was able to exactly work with them. Watermaster exactly joined in order to further his own goal and his own ambition to reconquering his home world and his own planet, and exactly to achieve this, he needed help from all the resources he can exactly find. In doing so, he clashed with the members of the Water Heroes in his quest to reconquering his own planet and his own civilization. The Water Heroes exactly fought off Watermaster and some of the other Shadow Empire warlords. The battle between the two was quietly brief, not exactly a long battle, but the Watermaster was able to escape and was able to exactly retreat, while the other operatives were able to ultimately take him into custody throughout the Intergalactic Coalition. Watermaster returned to his central command, and was able to reconvene. With the members of the Dark Fates and Lord Fate and Queen Fate and Dark Fate and Dark Fate Boy and also Witchman were pleased with Watermaster's efforts and his tactics in order and his strategies in order to reconquer his home world and his planet and his civilization. But Lord Fate exactly reassured him that conquering his home world and his planet would exactly come through, as they exactly managed to form an alliance with the other Shadow Empire warlords, who was able to exactly give supply the Dark Fated supervillains with more technologies and more destructive technologies. In doing so, Watermaster was so pleased and very quietly happy with all the results he was able to get. And Lord Fate exactly reassured Watermaster that conquering his home world will exactly come to pass. He just needs to have more patience and more tolerance, which Watermaster quietly successfully agreed. With the Shadow Empire quietly losing the sacred war against the Intergalactic Coalition and the Universal Heroes, and Intergalactic Coalition managed to deliver a major blow and major victory by liberating all other worlds and known worlds from the Shadow Empire's control and grip from the Shadow Empire's control and grip from the other Shadow Empire warlords and all the other Shadow Empire warlords and all the other Shadow Empire commanders. They were able to exactly have a major victory and a major score. The battle between the two fronts was very quietly conclusive. Lives were quietly decimated within sacred space, and battle cruisers were all decimated. Two fronts of the sides were all quietly lost. But despite this, our heroes never gave up in trying to make peace and prosperity come to reality by any means necessary. Despite this, Watermaster was very quietly pleased to hear that the Shadow Empire is losing its status dominant power to remain the dominant force in the entire sacred universe in the rest of existence by any means necessary. In doing so, he formed alliance with other supervillains such as Shadowfly, Redfly, Metalface, Mountman, Sacred Man, Dark Witches, Dark Druids, Dark Faithful, Water Children, Ice Druids, and all the other operatives of the law magic, and was able to exactly supply them with more endless technologies and more powerful technologies and more technologies for them to exactly advance their secret society and their organization by any means necessary. Even Lord Fate, Watermaster was able to reconvene with the other villains in the 23rd of July, and was able to exactly get the news by Lord Fate saying that there's a new little magic rising from the precipice, rising from the shadows, who is leading his own secret society of supervillains, his own secret society of supervillains known as the Dark Organization, and the members are Black Mask, who's a supervillain, Dark Witch Laura, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, the Dark Faithful, the Dark Witches, the Dark Faithful, Ghostmaster, and also the Ice Druids and the Ice Witches and the Ice Faithful, who exactly become members to his new secret society, and Shang and Death Hand and Deathblade, I meant Deathblade, and Deathblade, who's another supervillain and a powerful assassin who become part of his new secret society of the new Lord of Magic, who's quietly rising from the shadow. His name is still a mystery, as all the heroes and all the other villains are trying to figure out who is his name and who's exactly is his name, and why is he rising from power now after the previous Lord of Magic has been decimated and has been quietly been removed from power. Now he's ascending through power through the shadows, and he's trying to reconquer all the worlds and trying to put back the Shadow Empire's power, trying to restore the Shadow Empire's power and its dominant stanchion force back into power by any means necessary. Watermaster and the other dark villains were very quietly displeased with the rise of the new Lord of Magic, since the Universal Heroes failed to exactly figure out exactly who is he and what exactly is his name. But despite this, Lord Fate reassured the members of the Fates, and exactly reassured them that they'll exactly get to the bottom of this mystery and prevent this new Lord of Magic and his dark organization from taking over and conquering other worlds and other planets by any means necessary. And Watermaster was very pleased. Watermaster decided to focus his ambition and his goal in reconquering his home world and his home planet, so that he can use it exactly as a military dealings with the other villains, for them to exactly supply other Shadow Empire Warlords faction, and giving them endless water technologies and dark magical technologies for them as part of the deal. In return, he supplies the other Shadow Empire commanders and warlords. Excuse me. He supplies the other Shadow commanders and warlords with worlds and planets and civilizations. In return, they gave him dark technologies and destructive technologies as part of his agreement. Well, that was on the 2 of September as that exactly happened. That was on 2 of September as that exactly happened to a new agreement. But Watermaster is quietly determined to reconquering his home world and his home planet and ruling his people by force by any means necessary. But Water King Simon, who's a superhero and a member of the United Heroes, is determined to put a stop to his plan and his mission. Despite this, Watermaster is extremely intelligent and extremely ambitious and extremely determined. He's very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, skilled in water magic, skilled in dark magic, skilled in using water magic to create waves of water, creating huge waves of water, and creating waves of dark magic blast and dark magic bowls and dark magic arrows of water in order to sense and see lies. He can exactly see through minds. He can exactly detect lies. He can exactly even interrogate prisoners. He's very skilled in perception, very skilled in super speed, in teleportation, in opening portals. Watermaster is very powerful and a very powerful supervillain. Is a very powerful magical villain who's been living in Waterworld and Water Planet for over centuries. He's been planning and executing his plans and scheming in ruling his people by force, by any means necessary. His plans have never exactly come to fruition due to the intervention of the Universal Heroes and his brother Water King Simon was able to prevent him from conquering his home world and his home planet for his evil schemes and his evil military dealings with the Shadow Empire warlords. Despite this, Watermaster is very skilled and very adaptable in underwater breathing. He has superhuman ability, super speed. He has the power of teleportation, the power of opening portals, the power of using water magic, the power of reading minds, the power of detecting lies, the power of using dark magic to create dark destructive water technologies, and the power of creating dark magic balls and dark magic auras to sense intruders. He has a power of sensory perception and the power of sensing and also detecting ancient origin, superhuman origin energy, such as Universal Man's powers, Water King Simon's powers, Sacred Man's powers, Universal Girl, Universal Origin Boy, War Boy, detecting all their powers and all the other heroes' powers and the abilities and the abilities and the abilities in a far distance, and even sensing the abilities in a greater far distance, knowing that they exactly fully arriving. Watermaster hates and despises the universal heroes and the rest of the water heroes. He led the water heroes in his early life, but after they doing so, he wanted to become the most powerful, dominant leader throughout the rest of his star system, so that he could become the godlike figure of ruling his people and exactly reconquering his homeworld and using his homeworld as a central headquarter base for him to exactly operate with other sinister warlords and commanders, from exactly helping them conquer all the other worlds and all the other planets and civilizations. Despite this, Watermaster's super strength, superhuman, super strength, and super speed, and super strength, super speed, and inhuman speed, and enhance in endurance, and also stealth ability. Watermaster is very adaptable in the real world, and very adaptable in the sacred world, and very highly adaptable in water magic, and also in using dark magic, and using dark magic and water magic, combining the power in order to exactly fuel his power, combining the power to fuel his power and to fuel his immortality, giving him strength and endless power. Watermaster is an immortal villain who lived for centuries and years to come. He is now a current member of a secret society of supervillains known as the Dark Fate, who exactly wants to end the wars and reconquering all the other worlds and all the other civilizations by any means necessary. He's very intelligent. He has raw intellect, combining dark technologies with Shadow Empire technology, integrating the technologies together in order to exactly form a super weapon and a powerful super weapon and a powerful detonation bomb. Watermaster is very quietly mastered. He's very mastered in technology, in physiology, in biology. He's very mastered in any of those. He's a powerful super criminal who is determined to exactly reconquer his home world and his home planet by any means necessary, forming alliance with super criminals, Lord Fate, Queen Fate, Fate Boy, and Golden Master, Dog, Golden Girl, Witch Girl, exactly who's Golden Girl, who's a Dark Witch exactly, and also the next Golden Master, and also the powerful Dark Druid, and a powerful Dark Witch, and a powerful Dark Faithful, forming alliance with them and joining their secret society in order to further his own ambition and his own goal, helping them with their goals and their mission and their true evil agenda in putting an end to the sacred world's war by any means necessary. Watermaster is determined and very powerful. His physiology is very strong. He's an immortal being who's very skilled in dark magic and water magic. He's very powerful and is very quite perceptive and very quietly detecting lies and sensing ancient energies and ancient powers of heroes, detecting ancient heroes' powers and their energies and their abilities. Despite this, Watermaster is very powerful and very ambitious and very deadly. He's not a villain, not meant to be underestimated. He is now a current member of a secret society of supervillains known as the Dark Fates, who want to end the entire sacred war by reconquering all the other worlds and all the other civilizations by any means necessary, and who are trying to prevent the new rise and new ascendancy of the Lord of Magic and the Universal Prince from seeing them in power, from seeing these two forces of evil in power, would turn the whole war into a power vacuum, which it already has turned it into an entire power vacuum by any means necessary. Well, I all hope you enjoyed this video, and I all hope you have a wonderful and a very good day. Stay safe and stay positive. Bye bye, guys. See you tomorrow.